What I'm doing today is scarifying the lawn, and what that does is it's got big rotating blades at the bottom of this machine, and it introduces air and oxygen into the ground by cutting in grooves, but also it shreds away quite a lot of the wasted grass, because you don't actually need that much. You need a thicker lawn, not a more dense lawn. Now, it's got some pros and cons, as I've mentioned all the pros, but the cons are every time I do one simple line, it fills up the tray. This is going to take a while. Now, as you can see, I've got quite a lot of wasted grass here, and it feels quite harsh getting rid of this much grass on your lawn, but actually by thinning it out, you're helping it grow even thicker and even better because it's not competing for nutrients. So if you want a really, really thick lawn, this is the kind of stuff you need to do. We're going to fill this bin. Now, clever little tip for you here. If you want to get rid of your moss or weeds on your lawn, what you can use is something known as lawn tonic or iron sulfate. You can either find it online or you can get this Maxicrop one, which works quite well. You water this down into the lawn about 2-3 days before you scarify, and it actually burns away all that moss and some of those weeds as well. The lawn likes high iron, but the rest doesn't. It's quite good like that. So when I'm scarifying, it's getting rid of all that gross moss, but it is giving me bulb patches. But that's all right, we can take care of that. You see, it's not the end of the world if you've got bulb patches, because what I can do is I can leave this for a few days, really, really water in to help everything recover, and then I'll actually add another grass seed on top. So where I've got all those blank spaces, by overseeding it, it should hopefully give me a little bit more lawn, and it will thicken out really, really nicely. And now I'm introducing all those channels into the ground with the blades, it'll root well as well. So, yeah, perfect lawn. Not much time at all. Now, if you've watched this show long enough, you know that normally I'm doing gardening jobs like this to avoid the actual work. And unfortunately, the actual work is a big one this week. We need to start getting ready for that show border for Gardeners World Live. And in terms of actual work done, there's been absolutely none. Hope we get this done on time. Now, I'm starting off this week by driving over to a place in Kettering. Now, you're probably wondering, why on earth would anyone want to go to Kettering? And if you've never heard of the place, just listen to James Acaster for about 5 seconds and you'll realise why no one wants to go there. Now, nestled in the centre of it, though, is something rather interesting, and I don't think you've ever seen anything like it. So, prepare to have your mind blown. Right, this is the place. The place I'm taking you today is called Ace Reuse and Recycle, and it can only be described as an Aladdin's cave of goodies. It has not one, but 2 warehouses jam-packed full of anything you could possibly need. Could have done with this on the Ground Force episode. Now, over the last 3 or 4 years that I've been coming here, they always have an abundance of those little Tikes cars, and I need one of those for my show garden. And for the first time ever, I couldn't see a single one. It was in fact really starting to stress me out. But after a lot of searching, I happened to find just one. My final challenge was to get it out, and it was buried deep. Wish me luck. Got it. Happy with my find, I take the triumphant walk through the 2 big warehouses and through the shop to pay for it. Right. 1 car, please. Well, it's actually not for little man. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it all a bronzy colour and use it for a show garden for 500,000 people coming to visit. Cool.
Oh my God.
I promise you, when it's all pieced together, it will look hilarious. Can I have my microphone
Yeah,
back?
yeah.
Something quite weird about putting a car in a car. With my little Tikes car now back in the garden, it was time for the slow and delicate procedure of cleaning it. Nah, I'm just kidding. Right, one clean car. I'm going to let that dry in the sun and then we'll paint it. Now what I'm doing is I'm just spraying some plastic primer on this, and what it does, it creates a new base layer, so when I put the paint on, it won't peel and chip off, because that's the last thing you want halfway through a flower show. Now, if you are using any kind of aerosol spray, make sure you do it in a really well ventilated area, and if you're wondering if I should be wearing a mask, yes. After I knock 5 years off my lifespan with this primer, I can then focus on the most important part, the bronze. Right, the primer's dried. Let's paint this sucker gold. Well, bronze. You get it. The bronze paint was going on an absolute treat, and coverage was really good too. But as I started progressing, something became a little bit more concerning. Now, slight issue here. I sprayed it with the antique bronze spray in hopes that it would look oldie worldy and really fit in as a, a statue, and, well, see for yourselves. I think what I've done here is I've created a little Tikes car for strippers. Keen not to get myself banned from any form of gardening show, I decided to do some research, and I come across something that might just change the game. Right, so new plan. What I've got is a little hand brush and I've got some black paint, and I'm just spraying a little bit on this and then just kind of randomly smacking the gold with the black paint to create some kind of an aged texture. Now, I'm sure there's probably a much better way to do this, but it's going on quite well. If you had told me that this was going to work, I never would have believed you, but wait till you see the final result. Now, I wasn't entirely sure whether this was going to work, but have a look at that. It actually looks a bit like an antique. Huh. I was really worried that bringing in a bronze little Tikes car would probably get me banned from flower shows, but actually, I think this might be a winner. Who'd have thought? There are times where even I amaze myself, and turning a little Tikes car into a bronze statue, that's a new one for me. Right. Now, today I'm going to make the log store that I'm going to put in this blank space, and I thought to zhuzh it up a little bit, I'm going to try and make one of those triangular ones, which will look pretty doody. Now, one might not be enough, so we might have to make 2 or 3, but for now, let's see if we can figure it out. Right, let's crack on, shall we? Now, I want this to feel as easy as possible, so if you've never done DIY before, you could still build this yourself. What I've got here is 4 lengths of 2 meters long of 3x2 treated. Now, you can find this in any kind of DIY store. And I want to do a nice cut at the top so it points and gives a nice clean finish. We're not going to do any complicated angles here. I'm going to show you an easy trick. You need to cut an angle at 15 degrees along here to here in order to be able to get them to join together. But if you've never done this before, you're not going to know what on earth I'm talking about. So instead, I'm going to show you an easy tactic. Take this point here, which is the top, and the second side, measure 26 centimeters. And what you want to do is just draw a line along here. Now, this is the 15-degree cut that you need to make, but I've made it simpler for you by just telling you where to draw it. How about that? Right, once those 2 bits are cut, you should be able to take this bit and, whoop, this bit over here and connect them together. Look at that. All right, here we go. Nice and sturdy. Now, next up, what I need to do is connect these two triangle bits together. And all you're going to need is 3 bits of tile batten. You can get this for about £2 per length from Screwfix or Wix's. And ideally, you want to put 1 at the top here and 2 at the bottom, just to hold it in place. But to save you the balancing work, let me show you how easy it is to connect it on the floor. Make your life a lot easier. Lay this flat on the floor, and then you can connect this and not worry about having to play a balancing game. All I'm going to do is just put the batten in place. As long as I can reach the screw at the top, that's all that really matters. Don't worry too much about distance, and screw it in. I want this to be 60 centimeters deep. So I've made this 55. So when I connect it all, there's a 5 centimeter overhang when I do the top bit, but we'll show you that in a second. That's 1 bit in, now the bottom bits. Now that all 3 bits are in, it's much more easier for me to connect the second piece. All I've got to do is place it here in between. And when I screw this bit in here, it'll hold it in place, which means I don't have to worry about it falling over. I can screw the bottom bits in and we're on to the next step. Now the front and back are connected together, I can focus on doing the bottom shelf. Now I've got some extra bits of 3x2 here at about 1 meter long. And all you want to do is just place that on the top of the bottom rungs there and screw them in place. Now, if for any reason you've made a mistake and it's overhanging a little bit, don't worry. You want a flush end. It's not the end of the world though. Simply take a handsaw and just guide it along the bottom, cut it in place. As a result, that'll sit nice and flush. We can put the sides on. What you can do as well here is make a second shelf, which you could use for kindling. So I'll have my logs there, kindling at the bottom. And for now, measure out where you want it to be, cut it in place, and screw it in. Makes life a lot easier. The next bit you'll need to do is make the slats for your shelves. And all I've got is some more tile batten or some scrap bits of timber, even be pallet boards for all you need it to be, and just put it in between the 2 triangle pieces. Now, draw a line in between, no measurements needed, and that will tell you exactly how wide it's got to be. Cut about 10 to 15 for the bottom, so you've got a nice bit of airflow through them, and you're good to go. Once you've connected the slats on the top, you can remove this one here because it's a little bit unsightly and everything's now supported here, so it's not needed. Right, I'm going to move this to its final position before I put the roof on because it's only going to get too heavy. I really don't fancy lifting that. Right. Okay, roof time. Now, if you remember, this is 55 centimeters wide, and in order to make a good overlap, I've got myself some feather edge board here, and I've got this at 60 centimeters. So it will sit fairly flush at the back, but have a nice little overhang at the front, which should protect it from the elements. You want to sit this as flat as possible and then nail or screw the top in place. And then you want to keep layering it at the top. Remember, whenever you use feather edge, start from the bottom upwards so that the water runs down. And I find a 2 centimeter gap from the top to the bottom between the boards gives a nice overlap. And the best way to do it is get a bit of tile batten and lay it on its shorter side, which is about 2 centimeters, and then just bend that down like that. That's your 2 centimeters. Pop that on top there. You'll get it perfectly flat and an equal distance. Right, final bit in place, and have a look at this. It just goes to show with a little bit of creativity, you can easily make your very own triangular log store, and it looks fantastic. Hindsight though, probably could have made it a bit bigger. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, I think that'll work. Oh, hello there. You're probably expecting the end scene where there's the fireplace, all the fancy bits, and then Beth has a go at me for 30 seconds and it cuts to the end. But unfortunately, Beth hasn't been very well this week. So she asked me to do a scene showing how I can utilize the greenhouse at this time of year. And I think I understood the brief.
It certainly ain't a thinking man's game. Hurry up. Come on.
Right, fine. Give yourself a pick-up 2.
Pick up 4.
You. Pick up 6.
Ah, no! I think I preferred it when we were playing poker.